from gaslighting and manipulating to a 1,000-page apology that sent her reputation straight into the gutter. This is the rise and fall of Sinder. Sinder is a massive American indie VTuber who debuted on June 25, 2022. She blew up not just in streaming, but also in music, and so her success caught the attention of Mythic Talent, who signed her soon after. She later became a co-owner of one of the biggest gamer energy drink brands, GamerSupps. With that kind of success, she began commissioning multiple new models every year, and one of those commissions came from one of the most respected live 2D artists in the community, Nanoless, but also the very artist who would later make Sinder's reputation crumble harder than Nissanji's stock market price. In April 2025, Nanoless dropped a doc so surprising, even Hassan's dog got shocked. A doc that showed what it was really like working under Sinder and her manager Redacted. The doc says Nano was pressured to stay away from certain clients and even cancel some projects, all while being told to treat Sinder like an exclusive client, even though there was no real contract or paid deal to make that official. Nano said that Red and Sinder operated as one, and her document was meant to prove that she'd been lied to, guilt-tripped, and for years, she had to deal with manipulation. And as you read through the document, especially the part about the blacklist, one of the VTubers that stood out on the list was Bao. Screenshots showed Red and Sinder talking about safeguarding our most important artist, meaning they wanted to keep Nano away from creators they saw as competition, and even pushing Nano to cancel Bao's model that was already halfway done. When Nano offered to give Bao the design for free as an apology, Red stepped in and told her to charge half instead. As more screenshots came out and people saw more of Red and Sinder's private chats, anyone with a healthy prefrontal cortex could tell this wasn't about work anymore. It was just unprofessional complaints, jealousy, and pure gaslighting. After the doc went public, Sinder dropped a short apology a few days later, saying she took accountability, that Red wouldn't be managing her anymore, and that she never meant to hurt Nano. Then she went silent for months before returning with a 1,000-page response. But before we get into that salty biblical level document, Nano's post was like a domino effect. Everyone who was involved or affected started responding, pushing Sinder even deeper into the ground. Especially when the doc showed Red accusing other VTubers of stealing their editors, and of course that accusation was mainly directed at Bao. So she put out her own statement to clear up two things: the stolen editor rumor and her live 2D project with Nanoless. For the editor issue, Bao says there was no stealing involved. Kaiser was already editing for both Bao and Sinder, and Bao only asked him for one video a month. During a call, Kaiser mentioned being nervous to ask Sinder for a raise, and when he later got a higher paying exclusive offer, Bao told him to take it, even if it meant he'd stop working for her. She says that's why it wasn't her taking someone else's editor. She actually encouraged him to take the better deal. There was also confusion around Sacramore, who handled Boss Rosh's music video editing and animation. Bao explains that in 2024, he chose to work in-house with her so he could quietly focus on his own projects. She says that was entirely his decision, not something she pushed. As for the live 2D model, Bao says she announced a Nanoless model in March 2024, but after the sketches were done, the project suddenly stopped. Later, she found messages that made her think Sinder and Red were pressuring Nano not to finish her model. The same thing happened to Silvervale, who said her birthday model with Nano was already in progress, but then suddenly got cancelled. In her statement, she revealed that she was the VTuber 1 mentioned in Nano's document. She says she and Nano had been friends and worked together for years. So when she found out Nano was being pressured and manipulated by Sinder and Red, it broke her heart. Also, Silver said she and Sinder were never really friends. They barely talked, and when they did, it felt more like business than friendship. The only time they met in person was at TwitchCon 2023, when Sinder suddenly took a photo with her without asking, something Silvervale only found out about later when it appeared online. Soon after, Sinder tried reaching out through her manager and on Discord to suggest collabs and merch ideas, but Silvervale says she politely declined. Later, leaked messages seem to confirm her story, showing Sinder and Red telling Nano not to work with Silvervale anymore. Right before her birthday model was cancelled, Silvervale says discovering all this was heartbreaking. She believes Sinder and Red had been sabotaging her for years, spreading negativity about her, trying to cancel her art and model commissions, and framing her as a threat while pretending to be friendly in public. Silver says she's never done anything to deserve it and hopes that by sharing her story, people can see how much harm it caused and give everyone involved a chance to find closure. In some of the screenshots, Red was also seen talking about other VTubers copying Sinder, and one of the names that came up was Spite. In those messages, Red accused her of taking Sinder's ideas. Spite believed those messages were aimed directly at her, so she explained her side, laying out a timeline showing that her model and lore existed long before the private conversations that framed her. She said she debuted her 2.0 live 2D model on May 14, 2022, the very same day Sinder posted her own 1.0 debut announcement. 2 months later, in July 2022, Spite posted a goth-style outfit with a spiked choker, ripped tee, and shorts. A few weeks after that, Sinder revealed a similar look, and fans immediately started comparing the two. Soon, Spite's replies were filled with people accusing her of copying. And it gets worse, because in April 2024, Spite introduced a Greek goddess look to match her Cerberus lore. Months later, Sinder revealed a white and gold Heaven Okami design with Greek columns, close enough that Spite's chat blew up again with comparisons. Around the same time, Spite teased a casual model with a hoodie, choker, and bangs covering one eye. Then, in April 2025, Sinder revealed a model with almost the same style, reigniting another wave of harassment towards Spite.
Coincidence? I think not!
Spite clarified that her point wasn't that anyone stole from her. What hurt her was that while she was being talked about behind the scenes, every time Sinder posted something similar, people were quick to call her the copycat, and she wasn't the only one who experienced it. In a January 2023 DM, another VTuber said they were bullied just for having flames in their ears. But Spite's situation wasn't the end of it, because if we go back to that blacklist, there was also Shylily. She responded when Sinder uploaded her first apology and posted a blunt tweet saying that the audacity to continue to manipulate and gaslight is absolute insanity. She also went live to address the situation and called Sinder's apology bullshit.
And the worst of all, throughout this whole hearsay, it's full of bullshit.
Then she even started roasting Sinder, pointing out how she only ever apologized when she got caught.
She's only sorry when she gets caught, cause she knows fucking with that friend that she fucked with will mean the end of her career.
Lily described Sinder as narcissistic, greedy, and driven by money over friendship, using people as assets and pretending to care only when it benefited her.
She'd be like, yeah, I've been a dick. Yeah, I've been a fucking ass. Yeah, I've been blinded. So blinded by my success and money. And greed for even more. The greed was unbearable. Yes, I'm terrible.
She explained that the reason Sinder got away with so much for so long was because, in her words are as sweet as butter.
The reason it worked for so long is because her words are as sweet as butter.
Lily said the whole thing felt like a business move, tossing all the blame on Red just to save her own image.
It's typical. I take accountability for nothing. I shove the blame over to my man. I knew nothing. Everything was behind my back. I'm sorry you feel this way. It's just business fashion when a company has an employee fuck up.
And Sinder responded with a massive 1,000-page document, cooked it up in 5 months straight. And it has more lore than Cho'Gath, Shaco, Rek'Sai, and Kog'Maw combined. Since Sinder and Red spent 5 months creating this abomination, some people assumed it was all carefully planned, especially because there were claims and explanations in her doc that didn't match what the other VTubers said, and our scriptwriter tried his best to explain it one by one, and had a stroke doing so. Now, the document opens with Sinder admitting to a few things she and Red did wrong, and trying to correct what she says were false accusations. Right from the start, she focuses on 3 people: Nanoless, Shylily, and Silvervale. She claims Nano spread false information, Lily helped turn the public against her, and Silver made their past look worse than it really was. She also mentioned stepping down from GamerSupps to show she was taking accountability. In the early pages of the document, Sinder finally confirmed that Red wasn't just her manager, he was also her boyfriend. She said they kept that private for a long time, and admitted that mixing work and romance blurred a lot of lines between them. She also revealed that they had a falling out after the first wave of documents dropped, but eventually got back together. She even openly admitted that she cheated on Red years ago, though she said they worked through it long before the drama. I don't know about that one. That already sounds like a red flag to me. Sinder explained that Red handled most of the private talks with Nano and admitted she should have paid more attention. The thing is, in her first short apology, Sinder said she was cutting ties with her manager, but since everyone already knew Red was also her boyfriend, it felt like she was downplaying their relationship and putting all the blame on him. And you'll see more of that later on. So, in the Nanoless section of the doc, Sinder shared her side of the blacklist. She said the messages about clients were real, but missing context, and claimed Nano made her own choices. Sinder admitted she lied in her first apology about not knowing Red told Nano to avoid Spite, and said 4 names came up: Spite, Bao, Cotton, and Silvervale, though she claimed she only agreed about Silver. And these claims didn't line up with what Nano screenshots showed. That's why some people still saw Sinder's actions as manipulation and control. And once she was done talking about Nano, the next lady in line was Bao. Sinder apologizes for letting resentment build up between them. In Sinder's version, the tension started around editors. Kaiser was the YouTube editor who worked with both of them, and Sacramore handled music video editing and animation for Boss Rush. Red fixated on this and convinced himself Bao had pulled Sacramore away to work only with her. He thought Bao pushed Sacramore to stop working with Sinder and take her projects instead, basically stealing the editor. That misunderstanding snowballed, and Red later admitted he added Bao to Nano's do not work with list out of anger. He said he was wrong and that he jumped to conclusions. Sinder says she didn't know Red had included Bao in those talks, and admits she drifted away from Bao as a friend because of the pressure she was under. Sinder also brings up Numi, admitting she made a bad call by prioritizing a GamerSupps event over Numi's concert. She said she first backed out because of stage anxiety. If you think about it, that doesn't sound like a big deal. However, Sinder let Red be the one to tell Numi, and Red ended up making it sound like Shylily was the reason Sinder couldn't go. That message made it look like Sinder was blaming Shylily, even though skipping the concert was actually Sinder's own decision. Sinder says she was under pressure to prove herself as a new GamerSupps partner and thought putting business first was the right move. She later called it one of her biggest mistakes. And speaking of Shylily, Sinder describes Lily as someone she looked up to, but she also accuses her of turning people against her. The drama started when Red messaged Nano, saying Lily was acting weird towards Sinder just because she was working on a new model, basically calling her jealous. Sinder says she didn't even know he was saying things like that behind the scenes until Nano's doc dropped. Man, Sinder just keeps sending her boyfriend under the bus. Sinder also accuses Silvervale of twisting how people saw her and exaggerated parts of the story and used half-truths to make her look obsessed. She explains that some of the screenshots in Silver's post were cropped and that Nano was the one who decided to cancel the model. Sinder admits that she and Red told Nano not to work with Silver again, but insists it wasn't sabotage. Also added that they were never really friends and denies ever copying her, and also said she never copied Spite. But Sinder apologizes to her for the harassment Spite received and admits her earlier apology left out that Red talked to Nano about Spite back in 2023 and asked Nano not to work with her. Sinder says she wasn't involved at first, but later was okay with it after hearing Nano agreed. She still rejects the main claim and says she never copied Spite, calling her post mostly assumptions. Sinder adds that aside from following Spite on Twitter, she and Red weren't really keeping tabs on her, and that by mid-2023, she had already moved past her jealousy and stopped seeing Spite as competition. Sinder admits that bad communication and pressure from Red, from herself, and from the situation caused most of the problems. She says she should have talked things out sooner and promises to be more open moving forward. She also makes it clear she doesn't hold grudges against her friends, artists, or former partners who got caught up in the mess, and plans to personally reach out to anyone she owes an apology to. Now she just wants to move on. She's ready to stream, create, and rebuild again. For Sinder, this whole experience was a wake-up call to slow down, reconnect with people, and start fresh on her own terms. So the entire 1,000-page doc ends up feeling like a glorified high school drama played by adults hiding behind virtual identities. But since this controversy left such mixed reactions, and her reputation already crumbled harder than a Nature Valley bar, will Sinder still be able to make a real comeback?